The World Mobile Aya sidechain white paper is set to release over the course of the next few days, and the team has just landed their first B2C customer in the Zanzibar region. In today's video, I want to talk about all these details and what the team has been up to. What is going on, Cardano community? Welcome back to the dApp Central YouTube channel. I'm your host here, Fareed, and as a part of today's video, I just want to share some news and updates surrounding the World Mobile project. If it's your first time hearing about the WMT project or the WMT token, they're going to be a platform aiming to connect the unconnected through a sharing economy, starting with their rollout in Zanzibar in Tanzania. Now, before we jump into all of today's content in which we're going to be talking about their latest dev diary, their deployment diary, and the fact that they now have their first B2C customer, I just want to take a moment to share with you guys what I aim to do here within this Cardano and crypto space. So if you guys are not aware, I am a single stake pool operator now, operating the official dApp Central stake pool, and my goal is to educate the broader community. If you guys are looking to support myself throughout my effort or my mission, then consider staking or delegating with the official dApp Central stake pool, which is stake pool ticker DAPP. Thank you, and let's go ahead and just jump straight into today's content. So because there's just so many different updates here, what I'm going to do is go ahead and leave the links to all these different resources down in the description below for you guys to go ahead and check it out in all of its detail for yourselves. And what I've already done is just kind of highlighted a few key points that I want to mention as a part of this update video. Now, we did save the best for last, which is the announcement surrounding the official B2C partnership or rollout within the Zanzibar region, which I'll be getting to very, very shortly. But we're first going to kick things off with the dev diary. So scrolling down here, we have the dev diary updates for the month of January. Now, if you guys are not aware, the team did have a AMA in the middle of January, or towards the end of January, I should say, in which we saw all the prominent members from the actual World Mobile team online and answering questions from the community. If you guys want to check this out, it's about 2 hours long and it's full packed with information. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the link to that as well down in the description below. But in terms of updates here for the month of January, it states here that the team is now expanding the definition of the Aya architecture. If you guys are not familiar with Aya, this is going to be their public testnet going to be rolled out for their ENOs or Earth node operators over the course of the next few weeks. And then once it's been thoroughly tested, it will be launching and released on the main net. Now, on top of that, we also had a recent announcement that the Aya testnet white paper, or the Aya network white paper, is also around the corner. So as soon as that gets released, you guys can definitely bet that I'll have another video highlighting all of that in its entirety. Number two, in terms of updates here, it says that they're now working on supporting the ENOs on their testnet and fixing identified issues. As I mentioned before, they're actively working to onboard additional ENOs. When this initially launched, it was for a closed group of ENOs or Earth node operators. Now, after that latest call or that latest Twitter space, they announced that they'd be rolling this out to the greater community in a phased approach. If I'm not mistaken, if you head over into their Discord, which I've left a link to down in the description below as well, you can actually go ahead and access the Earth node chat, in which they basically have a link for a survey that you can go ahead and actually fill out to apply to become an Earth node operator on the Aya testnet. Now, scrolling down just a little bit further, in terms of web development updates, it states here that the worldmobile.co.tz website, which is going to be the website for the Zanzibar region, is currently pending a deployment. If you head over to that website right now, it is written in their native language, but you can see that the website is fully functional with all the information needed for members from that region to go ahead and get started using the World Mobile platform. Scrolling down a little bit further, we've got some updates here again surrounding the Earth node team. And as I mentioned before, the Aya testnet is being rolled out for testing by early adopters or ENOs. Right below that, it states here that as the ENOs have provided feedback on the testnet, the team is making improvements to error messages in the wallet and the validator register and unregister cycle. So they're already iterating on the initial round of feedback that was provided to them by the first set of ENOs. And I would assume that as they open this up to more people in that phased approach, that they're going to continue to receive a lot of valuable feedback. Scrolling down into some of the major updates when it comes to the native apps team, it states here that the native apps team concentrated on completing the features for the first B2C payment customers. And again, we're going to be talking about that particular relationship, which was just announced hours ago. Now, the progress continues on, in which they've now provided a Cardano wallet associated with a DID or digital identity in the application. On top of that, they're now developing and integrating cryptocurrency purchases, which is going to also be referred to as a fiat on ramp. So right now, if you guys are not familiar, the main on-ramps that we have within at least the United States include some of these centralized exchanges. So the fact that this team is now working on their own fiat on-ramp to allow for members to come into their network or into their platform is going to be a big key. Scrolling down, they've also talked about the scan to earn feature, which allows application users to scan surrounding networks and earn rewards. Again, if you guys listen to that chat, which occurred in late January, Mickey Watkins, who is the CEO of this amazing project, talks about the fact that they're going to be rolling out this scan to earn feature all across for all the WMT users. Again, this is going to be a way to earn while providing the WMT network valuable information as to what areas they could potentially move out and roll into next. Very lastly, it states here, marketplace for purchases, or they've completed updates for a marketplace for purchases of services and gift cards from third-party companies using the WUC system engineering team. Now, I'm not familiar with what that actual system is, but the gist of it is that they're providing additional services now for people to purchase gift cards, again, directly from their platform for use as a part of the WMT network. So all these different ways or all these different updates here, I should say, are ways to generate additional revenue and benefits for the platform, while also allowing for users to basically expand their relationship and integration with the WMT platform. I think that's going to be it there. Again, there's a lot of additional updates. This is a little bit more technical. I just want to keep this as brief and concise for you guys as possible. Next, I want to talk about the deployment diary and some of the updates that we've seen released as a part of the month of January. So starting from the very top, we have the team update section, in which it states here that when it comes to industry events, the team was invited to participate in the Satoshi Roundtable event, where a large amount of interest and support for the project was shown from key industry figures and partners. Again, I did see some pictures of this, and I believe Mickey Watkins actually attended this event, and I want to say it took place somewhere in the Middle East. I want to say Dubai, but don't quote me on that. But it did look like it was a nice crowd, which was receptive to his and the WMT team's presence. The next update here states that the team is in discussions with the ITU, or the International Telecommunication Union, on which other projects would benefit from their innovative technology and sharing economy to further the WMT team's mission to bridge the digital divide. Very lastly, it states here that the team has finalized preparations for the World Mobile Congress Barcelona event. Now, I'm not exactly sure what this is about, but again, the fact that they're putting themselves in the spotlight is a really, really good sign. I'm going to do my best there to try to figure out exactly what that event is all about and give you guys an additional update as a part of my next video. Now, when it comes to some of the updates surrounding the market access or the entry team, it states here that they're now engaging with a new country in Asia. As a part of that last Twitter space, Mickey Watkins was asked about which country they'd be rolling out in Asia. However, he did not actually spill the beans. So we are still unaware of what country or region they're going to be launching and penetrating within the Asian region, but that should be released hopefully very, very soon. On top of that, it states here that engagement and design has commenced, with Airnode components being decided upon. If you guys are not familiar, this team is looking to use a cookie cutter model that they can implement, similar to what we saw with their initial rollout in the Zanzibar region. Now, it also states here that further countries have engaged World Mobile for ongoing aerostat modeling, and regions and towns have been identified for their next set of field demonstrations. So really, really solid progress there. Again, not only on the development diary front, but also on the deployment diary front as well. Now, the last thing, that we're going to be talking about is going to be the different country rollout and some of their progress in these different regions. So first off, we've got Kenya, in which they're now working with regulators on next steps for their rollout, and they're also working on further equipment, which is now in transit or has been received on the different application testing sites. When it comes to Mozambique, they're now working on shipping of the air nodes to commence, and again, once that occurs, they should begin to actually start the installation process, similar to what we saw in Tanzania. Now, when it comes to Nigeria, they're finalizing the site selection and the schedule for their initial rural air node deployment. And then if you guys are not familiar, WMT is not only focusing on countries abroad or regions abroad, they're also focusing on the USA with their recent launch of their US specific website. So it says here that the sites have been selected in the US for the initial air node deployment, with RF assessments of the on-sites currently ongoing. On top of that, there's ongoing testing for their air node equipment in different environments and configurations. And then very lastly, for updates in the USA, they're working on securing supply chains again for the air node deployment. Now, when it comes to Zanzibar, which has the most amount of air nodes deployed right now, I believe they're somewhere around 247. At least the last time I checked, they're now working on their B2C or business to customer beta sites, which are now commercially live. And then very lastly, there at the bottom, it states that the Aerostat launch permissions are being finalized. So progress on all fronts. Congratulations to this team. And again, if you guys want to find out more, or if you guys just kind of want to dive a little bit deeper into all these updates, again, I will leave the links to these down in the description below. Moving over into the next major update surrounding the Aya white paper. Now it says here that the Aya white paper is almost here. What topics or technicalities are you eager to learn more about? And we've got a lot of really good commentary here from the community. And again, I'm sure that this team will be reviewing this ahead of the actual release of the white paper in order to make sure that those key questions from the community are answered within the first iteration of the Aya white paper. Again, if you don't know what Aya is, this is going to be the name for their testnet, or for the network, I should say, which is going to be a side chain operating the Earth nodes. Very lastly, I'm going to jump over here, and this is going to be the major announcement surrounding their first B2C customer being onboarded. So as it states here from the official World Mobile Team Twitter, we're proud to announce the onboarding of our first paying B2C customers. Here's a breakdown of how it's been achieved. Scrolling over into the next tweet, which is a thread here. Over the past few weeks, our customers across Zanzibar have been testing the official World Mobile app. In order to provide the best possible testing experience, we've teamed up with several local activators. These activators were on site to provide our customers with an overview of the app, walk them through the data bundle purchasing process, and were available to provide assistance if needed. Very lastly, after weeks of successful testing, we've decided to officially roll out the World Mobile app in Zanzibar, and to support the rollout, we will be continuing to deploy additional air nodes across the island. In the coming days, the team will be sharing more about the exciting features included in the World Mobile app, as well as more information on their rollout in Zanzibar. So that is going to do it for today's video. What I'm going to do is just quickly jump over to the WMT scan here in closing, just to double check if they released any additional air nodes, which it does not look like at this time that they have. However, I will say that the total network consumption has jumped up dramatically. So we were stuck at about 1 terabyte of data being consumed quite often here over the last 24 hours for quite a long time. And that has now jumped to about 1.45 terabytes, or about 1.5 terabytes. Right next to that, we have an increase of the total unique users within the last 24 hours, which was also kind of stuck at around 20,000 users over the last 24 hours, or on a 24-hour rolling period. And as you guys can see, that has now bumped up to about 25,000. We're just about 75 users shy of that target number. In terms of the network uptime, that's currently sitting at about 287 days, and we're going to be getting closer and closer to being on the network uptime of a single year. That will be an achievement in and of itself, which I'm definitely looking forward to. Again, this team just continues to deliver on all fronts. That is going to do it for today's video, though. If you guys found this brief update to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. It really does go a long way as a single content creator. If it's your first time stopping by the official Dapp Central YouTube channel, consider subscribing. And if you're looking to support, again, consider delegating or staking with the official Dapp Central stake pool. And if you have any questions for me or about the World Mobile project, then make sure you leave those down in the comment section below. And with that said, I will see you guys in the next video.